Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Okay, so, thank you for, checking out my blog, I guess. It was suggested that I keep a log of my experiences as a new hijabi because today is my 7th day as a hijabi. I took hijab on about a week ago. Obviously, 7 days is a week. Kind of, I'd been thinking about it for a while, and then I just decided that it was time to do it. So I did it. It's been a very interesting, trying, but rewarding week, alhamdulillah. And I just thought that I would make a video to kind of reflect on the week because I felt that it would be beneficial for myself and my fellow hijabis. So, first of all, I would like to talk about the fact that everyone thought that I was deaf. My ears, they're covered, but they're still there. I'm not deaf. And yet for some reason everyone thought I was deaf. I'd have to say that was probably one of the funniest things, about taking on my hijab is the fact that everyone assumed that I could not hear them, and therefore felt the need to speak up, to which I promptly replied, I can hear you, I'm not deaf, my ears are covered, not disabled. I mean, it was funny. It was interesting because a little girl actually noticed, on my first day, I was teaching a swim lesson, and she was screaming at me, and I was like, why are you screaming at me? And she was like, well, I can't hear very well when I have a hat over my ears. And mashallah, it was cute, but that was probably the one and only time that was cute, because it wasn't very cute when adults assumed that I could not hear them because my ears were covered. One thing that I noticed is that, because I work with kids, I work at a YMCA, I'm a lifeguard, I teach swim lessons as well. I work a lot with the kids, and one thing that I noticed is that the children really didn't care. It wasn't that they didn't care, they had questions, but they weren't negative. They were just inquisitive. They were curious, like, what's that thing on your head? What's that thing over your hair? And I mean, they were real questions. They were just coming from children. But when it came to the adults, it was like, if their question wasn't, like, if it made sense at all, it was, how do I put this? If their question made sense at all, it was presented in such a way that, had I not caught what they meant, I probably would have been offended. I think it was Wednesday, one of the fitness instructors, she teaches water fitness, she approached me and she was kind of smiling, and she was like, you've got a scarf on your head, and I was like, yeah, I do. Why? Religious purposes. Oh, okay. And she was just kind of short about it, and so I was like, whatever, I know what I'm doing is right, and I'm glad I've done it, and it will only get easier, inshallah. And I mean, I got questions, but for the most part, people are just curious, it's not something that they see every day. Friday, I got probably the funniest questions of all, two that kind of stuck out. One woman asked me if I had converted to Buddhism. I was like, no, I'm a 2-year convert of Islam, and I have decided to take on the headscarf as both a religious duty and as a personal thing, because it's a very personal decision, and I knew that it was something that I had to do sooner or later. And the other question came from a woman, same day, just about the same time, actually. She was asking me about it, and I said, oh, I wear it for religious purposes. And she said, oh, well, you don't usually wear it. You look beautiful, but I didn't know if you'd gotten married, and I'm like, no, I didn't get married. It's just, I was kind of ready to take it on. And another woman, she asked me how I got my hair like that, and I was like, you know, it's just a piece of cloth. So I got some interesting questions. For the most part, people didn't really seem to react in a negative fashion, and you know, alhamdulillah for that. I probably couldn't have handled it. I'm a very strong person, but I would have had a lot of trouble going through that. I mean, I would have made my way through it, don't get me wrong, but it would have been a big challenge for me. The only really negative thing that happened was actually yesterday. I blogged about it yesterday, so most of you have probably read it already. A woman said to the person who I was guarding with, we were talking at the time, well, after giving me a very nasty look, and I was like, okay, this isn't going to be good. And she looked at him and said, I wonder if they would let a Christian woman lifeguard at the Muslim facility in New York. And he was like, I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem. And she goes, yeah, well, I'm not so sure. And just kind of walked off. I was very lucky, though, you know. I mean, it upset me a lot. I had some trouble kind of dealing with it, but I had a lot of people there who were like, it's okay, you know, we'll figure it out. I was very lucky that, you know, I had so many people who were supportive at the time, you know, like literally right there. One of my coworkers asked me if I needed a minute off deck, and she would watch the pool. And the person who I happened to be guarding with, he happens to be the head lifeguard, and he was like, I don't know what to do, but I'm gonna figure it out. And essentially, most of them are pressing to kind of have her membership revoked because they all agreed that, you know, because, I mean, the Y, yes, it used to be the Young Men's Christian Association, but, I mean, there were so many things wrong with her assuming that it was a Christian facility where we're equal opportunity, we're open to everyone. So that was really the only, really trying thing that happened, and alhamdulillah, I made it through. I'm okay. I have no plans to take my hijab off. I have no plans to not wear it with pride. In fact, I have every intention of keeping my head held high, inshallah. And because I have so much support, and I know that I can make it through, because, I mean, from here, it'll only get easier, inshallah. And I guess I can stop assuming that everyone's a bigot, because I did actually, you know, I kind of went into it with a cynical attitude, and I probably shouldn't have, because most of the people who saw me this week didn't react in the way that I expected them to. You know, I expected nasty looks, I expected rude questions, but I didn't get that. I mean, I might have gotten the nasty looks, but for the most part, you know, if I did, I didn't notice them. So yeah, I intend to continue wearing it, and inshallah it will get easier. I have a lot of support from my community, from my family, from my friends, and I'm glad that I do. And I know that, you know, things will get easier, inshallah. I'm very happy that I made the decision. I have no regrets. I have no second thoughts. The only reason I actually chose to do today as a reflection is because I don't really usually go anywhere on Sunday, so I only put it on for the video. So that's that. If you have any questions, comments, anything, most of you know where to find me. So, alright, thanks for watching.